Good morning. This is PJ. It is Wednesday, July 21st, and we are here for our 3 daily readings. I'm back in my office still. I may have to change that up and go somewhere else tomorrow. But it's our 3 daily readings. Psalm 100 is our psalm reading. 2 Samuel chapter 5 verses 1 through 12 is our Old Testament reading. And Luke chapter 15 verses 1 through 7 is going to be our New Testament reading. Let's take a listen in and hear the scripture for the day. On your feet now, applaud God. Bring a gift of laughter. Sing yourself into his presence. Know this, God is God and God. He made us, we didn't make him. We're his people, his well-tended sheep. Enter with the password. Thank you. Make yourselves at home, talking praise. Thank him. Worship him. For God is sheer beauty, all generous in love, loyal, always and ever. Our Old Testament reading today is from the book of 2 Samuel, chapter 5, verses 1 through 12. Before long, all the tribes of Israel approached David in Hebron and said, "Look at us, your own flesh and blood. In time past, when Saul was our king, you were the only one who really ran the country. Even then, God said to you, 'You will be my shepherd, Israel, and you will be my prince.'" All of the leaders of Israel met with King David at Hebron, and the king made a treaty with them in the presence of God. And so they anointed David king over Israel. David was 30 years old when he became king, and he ruled for 40 years. In Hebron, he ruled Judah for 7.5 years. In Jerusalem, he ruled all Israel and Judah for 33 years. David and his men immediately set out for Jerusalem to take on the Jebusites who lived in that country. But they said, "You might as well go home. Even the blind and the lame could keep you out. You can't get in here." They had convinced themselves that David couldn't break through. But David went right ahead and captured the fortress of Zion, known ever since as the City of David. That day, David said, "To get the best of these Jebusites, one must target the water system, not to mention the so-called lame and blind bunch, the David haters." In fact, he was so sick and tired of it, people coined the expression, "No lame and blind allowed in this place." David made the fortress city his home and named it City of David. He developed the city from outside terraces inward. David proceeded with a longer stride, a larger embrace, since the God of the angel armies was with him. It was at this time that Hiram, king of Tyre, sent messages to David, along with timbers of cedar. He also sent carpenters and masons to build a house for David. David took this as a sign that God had confirmed him as king of Israel, giving his kingship world prominence for the sake of Israel, his people. Our New Testament reading today comes from the Gospel of Luke, chapter 15, verses 1 through 7, and it's known as the story of the lost sheep. By this time, a lot of men and women of questionable reputation were hanging around Jesus, listening intently. The Pharisees and the religious scholars were not pleased at all. They growled, "He takes in sinners and eats meals with them, treating them like old friends." Their grumbling triggered this story. Suppose one of you had 100 sheep and lost one. Wouldn't you leave the 99 in the wilderness and go after the lost one until you found it? When found, you can be sure you would put it across your shoulders, rejoicing And when you got home, call in your friends and neighbors and say, "Celebrate with me! I found my lost sheep." Count on it. There's more joy in heaven over one sinner's rescued life than over 99 good people in no need of rescue. And here ends our readings for the day. Have a beautiful and wonderful day. See you tomorrow.